Am I quitting Amazon FBA in 2025? Well, I'm going to tell you today whether I am or I'm not, and the reasons maybe why I considered doing this. The reason why a lot of people are moving away from selling on Amazon is because of TikTok Shop, for example, and the transition to social commerce, away from e-commerce with live shopping experiences and so forth. And a lot of the bigger Amazon sellers who had hit their 7-figure marks are now moving on to TikTok Shop, whether that's affiliate or selling their own brand, for example. And this got me thinking, should I be moving away from Amazon? Another thing is that Amazon have started being very, very harsh in terms of fees and other people's accounts. And a lot of people have been getting deactivated for not providing invoices, even if they were legitimate. And this caused a lot of worry for bigger sellers with bigger capital, for example, like I would have now. So I'm going to be going through today whether or not I'm going to be quitting and why maybe I should not quit and why you should continue selling on Amazon. Because the reality is, everything that I just said there is rubbish. Amazon is actually going to keep growing. It's one of the biggest platforms out there and it's going to keep growing, especially with the fact that 61% of its revenue is made by the sellers. Some people like us, people like you who are selling on Amazon are actually making the money more than Amazon are from selling on it. So you need to understand that it's only going to grow, and Amazon are actually partnering up with TikTok as well. So this is only going to make the two combine. And you have to remember, we got to trust Jeff Bezos because he is a very, very big entrepreneur. Amazon also has multi-fulfillment channels as well. So you can use Amazon to sell on other platforms. So this is only going to make it bigger. And this is why you should continue selling on Amazon, because like me, like you, we're probably not at that mark now where we've made the 7-8 figures from Amazon, had millions of pounds from Amazon, and now we want to move on. We're still at that stage where we're looking to grow our businesses. We're looking to scale from 6 to 7 figures or 7 to 8 figures, for example. And people who are in that position should not move away from what you've already started. What you're doing there is you are quitting too early before anything has actually actualized. This is why I recommend all of you continue selling on Amazon, likewise with myself. So what is my 2025 plan now that I'm going to be continue selling on Amazon and I've decided to lock fully in on this and scale it to the 7-figure mark? Well, the first thing is that I need to start automating a lot more of my business, and this might occur to you as well who are all watching here. Whether you're at that 5-figure mark, want to get to the 6 figures, you need to start being able to hire staff, for example, or hiring people around you. For example, I have family members who help me with packing, who help me with sourcing now because I've trained them. And this helps a lot. A lot of the big Amazon sellers out there have people who are working with them. Working by yourself as a one-man army, a one-woman army is only going to make things more difficult. You need to start, now that you know what you're doing, you need to start teaching others and bringing them into your business, managing that, which is another skill in itself, but it's a great skill to learn. And then you can scale from there because you've now got people putting more time into the business. And if they're family and things like that, they will often help for free, for example, or obviously you'll give them something as a reward for helping you. But a lot of the time, bring people around you into it and create your own empire and your own story when it comes to selling. Now, another thing is that all of you should now know your criteria, your product sourcing methods, how you pack items, where you ship items to, what's the turnaround rate, how to win the buy box. All of these things you should now know. Now, if you know this, you have got a good system in place to continue working hard on just sourcing more products and follow that strategy that you already have. It works. It just requires time, as you've seen so far. And if you've seen something work, you just need to now double down, put more money in, live a little bit below your means for a while and pump money that you might have from your job if you're still doing it, get extra income from elsewhere through things like your credit cards and overdrafts and stuff like that. Flood that into the business to scale quicker. And this is what you need to be doing in 2025 to hit the goals that you want to achieve. And the third thing is kind of what I said before, but outsourcing a lot of tasks, things that are going to take you a lot of time, look to outsource them, like I said, with the VAs, the packing and things like that. This will help you scale further. And remember, like I said, you have a system in place now. Do the little things right every single day, those systems that you have. And it may feel boring, but if you keep doing them every day, it's got you where you are now. It will continue getting to where you are and where you want to go further with the little tweaks that I've said, for example, like the automating and systemizing and things like that. And that's how you're going to get to where you want to get to. Another key thing is reflecting on the lessons learned. Now, how can we propel forward if we haven't looked and given ourselves feedback on how we have performed previously? So for myself, one thing that I know is that consistency is something that I need to be a bit more on top of. in terms of sticking to one model. A lot of the time, sometimes I'll do wholesale for a while, but then I'll get a little bit distracted with online arbitrage because it's really, really great. And I will then be like, okay, cool, I'm going to do online arbitrage now. And I let wholesale sink a little bit because wholesale is consistent. I just restock the same products and I end up stop looking for more. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to be more consistent with it, create more timetables, have a plan. All right, I do wholesale on these days, online arbitrage on these days. Or what was the advice I gave? I outsource online arbitrage, for example, and now I just focus on wholesale. So this is something that you want to do in terms of consistency. Be consistent with what you're doing. Like I said, little things every day. Another key thing is reflecting on how your journey's been so far. Don't look at your results now and think, oh yeah, this is good, but I want to get this. Look at where you were last year. So for me personally, last year, I kind of hit my first 10K a month mark. Now I'm doing that consistently per week at, a minimum 10K a week, for example. So now I know that this is working. I've seen year-to-year growth. All I need to keep doing is, like I said, the little things every day. Keep growing the business, keep putting more time into it, putting more capital into it, and it will get to where I want it to get to. And I need to stop getting distracted by these other hustles out there, like your TikTok shop and all of these things, and focus and dive down deep into Amazon and just milk it till I can get to my 7 figures, and then I can reflect a bit more. So even you here who are probably thinking, oh, you're at the 5-figure mark and are getting distracted, remember, you haven't even touched the bigger mark yet to what you can touch. You have to remember that if you've got to 5 figures, who's to say you can't get to 6 figures now? Who's to say you can't get to 7 figures? So really concentrate, really dive deep into it. Make sure you're networking with other sellers. You're part of SS University, where there's 7-figure sellers, 6-figure sellers, 5-figure sellers, sellers from everywhere that are constantly doing this. And in that way, you can still learn more. Your learning will never end. So make sure that you are looking and not being arrogant, learning from those above you, learning the little tips like I'm giving you now, and then applying those. Keep learning, keep applying, and you'll get to where you want to get to. Now, the last thing you need to do is remember your why. Now, the why is so important. We all started Amazon for a certain purpose, and we need to remember that. We started to get that freedom of time, escape that job, and be our own boss. And these are things that you need to stay loyal to and remember this. And when you do remember this, you need to think, what would happen now if I do quit? I'm going to end up going back to the old life that I had, and I'm not going to ever be able to fulfill what I wanted. And it's these difficult periods that you need to be able to get through to achieve what you want. And this is something that I'm very, very openly honest about with myself. I need to remember, look at where I've come from and look at where I am now. Of course, it's hard, but I have to keep going because I don't want to go back to where I was before. Now, remember that Amazon is helping you replace your 9-to-5 job as a first instance and give you that consistent income per month. Now, what does that mean? You can start to now have time freedom, which means you can invest and learn into other businesses later down the line. So once your capital has been built, get to a point where you're happy with the capital that you have, keep Amazon automated, and then you can start moving on to other stuff where now you've built up £100,000 from Amazon, for example, which is very doable. Now you've got £100,000 to sit on. Amazon will be recurring income, but it will be profit because you're just buying the stuff that you already have. Now you can start putting that money elsewhere, into your cryptos, into your investments, into property, into starting another business. So remember that as well. Remember the why and keep working hard. Don't get distracted. Hone in on one skill and maximize it to the max. Now, what is the next step for all of you and me as well? Well, we just have to keep working hard. Make sure you're part of SS University as well, because we're going to keep growing. We're going to keep giving more free information, as well as there being paid features as well. But I'm running the 4-day free bootcamp at the end of this year. Make sure you sign up. The link will be in the description as well. And this is where you can learn my systems that helped me get to 6 figures and will help me get to 7 figures with Amazon FBA. And make sure you've signed up below. Subscribe. Comment what your goals are for 2025 as well. It'll be really nice to see what you guys want to achieve and what it is you're going to do to achieve those. And as always, take care and make sure to join the community.